Wave. Oh, hey, never done this before. Hey, yay! I'm waving all over the place. So I'm at beautiful Prospect Park. I just finished doing a shoot, and it's gorgeous out here, and it's fresh, and it's kind of private, a little creepy. But anyways, let's see. So there's 5 people. Cool. I feel so popular. It's pretty out here, huh? Look at this. No, don't look over there. It's ugly. Let's look over there. Oh, yay. Hi. So, oh no, you guys don't leave. You're not supposed to leave. Anyways, the reason I'm putting on this live stream is because I don't want to have a bunch of interruptions like they do in the story. But I started this Cynthia. I started this live stream because I want to talk about a topic that is very ugly, and it's very sad, and it's something that a lot of people are dealing with, and I know I'm dealing with it, and I think people need to talk about it, and that is child molestation. I think that people are afraid to talk about it. It's nasty, it's ugly, but you know, when you think about the numbers, it's 1 in 5 girls and 1 in 8 boys. And I honestly think that those numbers may not even be correct. So I'm on a mission to spread the word of not just the nasty act that it is, but also what happens, and how responsible as adults we are to take care of our kids, and that the aftermath of having been molested, which happened to me, it's difficult. It's kids. Think about it. Kids are afraid to speak up. Something horrible happens to them, and they're afraid to speak up because they're going to be looked at weird. They're going to be looked at ugly. Somebody might not believe them. Somebody might go to jail. Somebody might get beat up. Somebody might, blame them. Somebody, all kinds of shit it is that they're thinking that could happen. And somehow they think it's their fault. If those things happen, if someone gets beat up, it's their fault because they told. If someone goes to jail, it's their fault because they told. If somebody looks at them ugly, it's their fault for telling. And that shit is not fair. It's a real subject. It's a real topic, and people need to ask themselves, what would you do if it happened in your house? If it was your brother, if it was your sister, if it was your husband, or anybody in your house. What if it happened to one of your kids? You have to stop and think about that. What would you do? Would you go to the police, or would you tell that kid, you know what? Just be quiet. Just stay quiet. Don't say anything. Deal with it. We're just not going to happen anymore. Is that enough? I don't think so. Because now this kid has to look at this person for the rest of their life and interact with them and pretend nothing happened. And the adults that are supposed to be looking after him or her are basically taking the easy route, choosing someone else over them. How is that fair? Children who get molested, that's what we're talking about. That's what I'm talking about. The fact that it's such an ugly subject, and that it's it's an epidemic. It's happening so much, and people need to be talking about it instead of acting as though it just never happened. As someone who it happened to, I feel obligated speak up for those kids who it might happen to, or who it might have just happened to. That shit isn't fair. And a kid has to take on the responsibility of the consequences of what an adult already decided. It's unfortunate, but the bottom line is, what would you do if it happened in your house? What would you do if it happened to your kids, or your sister, or your cousin? Or what if the person who is the molester is your brother, your sister, or your family member? Like, what would you do? Is it are you going to choose them because you don't want to fight with this person, because you don't want to have an argument, because you still want them in your life somehow after they've done something so horrible? That happens every single day. Every single day. Think about how awful that is. And it's enough. Like, it has been long and overdue, this conversation. And all I'm asking is for us to stop and think about, what would you do if it happened in your house? It's ugly, and it's uncomfortable, and it's embarrassing, and it's shameful, and nobody wants to think that it would happen in their house, and nobody wants to think that one of their family members would do such a horrible thing, and nobody wants to think that something so horrible would happen to your kids. I mean, and then also you got to think about is, how do you prepare your kids without scaring them and making them think that there are ugly people that would do such horrible things to them? But we have to talk to them. We have to tell them, I'm here for you. And no matter what fucking happens, I will be there for you. And you have to step up if it should. Thanks, Eddie. This shit isn't cute. It's not funny. It's not a laughing matter in any way, shape, or form, but we have to talk about it. And I want all of you that are watching to stop and think about that. And just, really think about it. What is your reaction and the actions that you take say to your kid, or to your whoever, your little person that is experiencing something so awful and so unfair? What are you telling them when you don't do anything? Or are you going to do something? Are you going to show them that they're fucking worth it? That's what I'm hoping for. We get outraged when it happens somewhere else. We get outraged when it happens and nothing happened. We get outraged when something just kind of goes down, but nobody goes to jail. We go, what the fuck? How did this person get molested, or this child get abused, or something so unfair? I mean, kids are helpless. And nobody does nothing, but then it happens in your house and nothing happens. It's the same shit. It's real. Just think about that. 1 in 5 girls. 1 in 5 girls gets molested that we know of, that speak up, that say something, that goes maybe to the authority or tells a teacher or something. 1 in 5. Think about the last time you were in a room with a bunch of girls. 1 in 8 boys. That's like, what the fuck? 1 in 8 boys and 1 in 5 girls. Think about every time you're in a room full of people. How many of those have gone through the same thing? That shit is scary. It's sickening. It's not just a problem, it's a fucking epidemic. And, for those people that have those thoughts, oh girl, I know. My parents didn't let me go anywhere. And it still happened. We just have to think about that. almost every single time that I have shared my story with someone, I have gotten a me too. That happened to me too. That happened to my sister. That happened to me and my sister. That happened to me and my cousin. That happened to me. Like, do you have any idea? That's a shitload of people. That's a bunch of kids that are being touched inappropriately. What the fuck, dude? And my parents didn't let me go anywhere. We were not allowed. I wasn't allowed. I was a girl. And it still happened. So no matter what, you need to talk to your kids. You need to tell them, you know what? I'm here. Just know that if something like this feels wrong, speak up. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to understand everything that's happening. You don't have to. That's why I'm here. Because I do. And I've got your back. Yeah, honey. Same. Grandpa, I just barely told Grandpa on Tuesday. He didn't even know about what happened to me. It's pretty bad. But we have to speak up. And we have to, yeah, exactly. You can't put them at risk, girl. They gotta know, but some kids, you would think they do. You would think they know because we love them and because, you know, we're their parents or their family. You would think that they would automatically know that they can speak up or whatever. But I've heard so many people that have told and nothing happened. Or the family stopped talking to them and their family for making a big deal. Or, you know, there was a fight broke out or something, and then that's it. Nobody goes to fucking jail. Nothing happens. And that shit's not okay. That's what the law is for. That's what we as adults are for. And it doesn't matter if it's your kid. If you know of a kid that something is happening to, fucking yes, put your nose in it. Put your nose in it. Go stand up, because if their family's not doing anything about it and you're just going to sit around and let it happen? Are you okay with that? Can you live with yourself knowing that a child is being molested and you didn't do anything about it because it wasn't your business? I'm not. I know I'm not. Fuck that. Call me nosy or whatever, but there's no way that I'm just going to sit around and let that happen. And I think about all the things I thought when I was a kid. I just wanted it to stop. I just didn't want it to happen anymore. I would forget. I mean, it's like so stupid, right? That you would forget that this was happening, that if I went to these people's house that it would happen to me, but I would forget I was fucking 8. I just wanted to go play. That's all I wanted. But so I told, nothing really happened, but it stopped. And at the moment, I was okay with that. But guess what? It happened to somebody else with the same person. I mean, the same person that hurt me hurt another girl. And again, guilt. Guilt comes in. Why didn't I make a bigger deal? Why didn't I speak up sooner? Why didn't I, you know what I mean? But again, I'm a kid. How was I supposed to think about that? Here's a person making a decision about how important those consequences for the people that they love, that they don't care if they find out. They don't care. They obviously don't care if they go to jail. They're child molesters. That's a sex offense. That's shit that's nasty. And nothing is happening about it. It's like, how many of these people go to jail? Most of the people I've spoken to that it's happened to as well, nothing's happened. So we have a duty to speak up and make sure that justice is served. And it's not about us personally delivering it. It's about really having it served. People need to go to jail for this shit. And we need to protect our kids. And those kids need to know that we're there for them. That they're not alone. That they don't have to make all these decisions. That an adult that has hurt them made that decision already. That they made the decision that their family was not worth the risk. That their freedom was not worth the risk. that whatever else was not worth the risk. It was that serious. And honestly, I believe that these people know that the likelihood of them going to jail is not that much because it doesn't fucking happen enough. So why not? I was really nervous to do this live stream because, well, one, I've never done one before. So yeah, I was freaking nervous. Because I feel like, all right, the lighting's good. This isn't too scary. But this topic is so nasty. It's so ugly and nobody wants to talk about it. But you know what? I'm so over. I'm so over just sitting around and hearing about how nobody did anything. And I'm so over just sitting around and going, wow, 1 in 5 girls, 1 in 8 boys. That's, you know, wow. That's bullshit. These are our kids. These are our little families, our babies, our future, and nobody's sticking up for them, and they're walking around with baggage that somebody put on them. That isn't fucking cool. We got to look out for our kids. We got to give them a heads up, and we have to show up for them when they need us. I can see how people get caught up in just taking the easy route. I get it, but not for this. Like, this is serious shit. Think about how outraged you are when you hear about it. And then to think that it could happen in your house, and then what are you going to do? Anyways, that's my point. We have to stick up for our kids. We have to show up for them. We have to tell them that they're worth it. And then if this is you, and this has happened to you, you are worth it. You are worth the trouble. You are worth making a stink. You are worth it. And you're loved. And, you know, if anybody wants to talk about this, if it's something that maybe is resonating with you, I'm here. My heart is wide open. My phone, my DM me, whatever. Get a hold of me, and I'll sit down and talk with you, because I don't want any single person who's experienced this to think that it happened too long ago. It's past. If you're still dealing with it, then you're still fucking dealing with it, and it's okay. I literally just barely started dealing with it, and now my adult self is sticking up for little me. And fuck it, it's better late than never. I'm here for you. If it's you, feel free to call me, text me, whatever, because honestly, it's not fair for us to carry some shame and some guilt of something that we didn't do. We didn't bring it upon ourselves, and you're worth it. You're loved, and you didn't do anything wrong. So that's my spiel, guys. I love you, and I hope that you help me spread the word, that you think about what I've said, that you have these conversations with your families. I hope you have these conversations with your kids, as it is, and as much as they may not believe it, understand it, whatever, just fucking have it. We have to talk to them. So please do it. Think about everything I've said, and if I freaking missed anything, by all means, tell me. Love you guys. Bye.